Welcome everybody. So in this video, I want to show you how to mark and add the holes into your signatures once you have them all stacked. So what I like to start with is I'm going to end up using one of my covers to do this. So I'm going to make sure that my signatures are stacked really nice. I like to kind of line them up on my board. And then what I want to kind of look for is I want to have an equal amount of space on both sides. Now, if it's a little bit off, it's not that big of a deal, but you want to have just a little bit of space on each side. So now I can see where the holes that I've created already are. So what I like to do is kind of decide like where is that going to be, and then I use a pencil to trace that spot on every single signature. Now it's really important that you get a mark on every single signature, because if you don't get a mark on every single signature, then you're not going to know where to poke the holes. And if you have one hole off, it's really hard to make the really nice braid. Okay. And when you're doing this, it is really important that this hole right here is not super close to the edge, right? On both sides, you want to leave at least like, you know, I don't know, close to a ½ inch, 3/8 of an inch at least. But you don't want it to be really close to the edge because it's too easy to rip the needle through it, to pull the thread through it too tight. But you can see now that I've made sure that I've got marks going straight up and down across all of my sections. So now for me, poking the holes and stitching, it's really important to me that I create a setup that I can do exactly the same thing every time. So what I like to do is I will set my entire book above my workspace, all set up. And this top cover, I'm gonna flip it over like this. And when I go to poke the holes, remember, have a little extra thing here. When I go to poke the holes in these signatures, I'm going to pull the signature forward. I'm going to open the signature up, and then I'm going to poke through every single page at the same time. So I'm not separating the pages. I want this to be done and poked all the way through every single page at the same time. Okay, now just like with the cover, you're gonna go a little bit first so you can start your hole, and then make sure you're not gonna stab your fingers, but just poke it a little bit deeper to widen the holes a little bit. Okay. Now once you've gotten all the way across, you're gonna close like this. I kind of just, you know, finger tighten it a little bit, and then I flip it over onto here. Okay, so process again, pull it towards you, open it where this bottom side comes towards you, poke all your holes. Widen your holes. And then this side that's closest to you gets folded under. Tighten it up just a little bit, flip it over. Now, why do you have to go through that same process for, you know, every time? What tends to happen is if you just kind of take these and you do whatever it is you're going to do, a lot of times they either like they won't get flipped over 100% correctly. And then when you go to actually do the stitching, you know, like we just eyeballed where this is supposed to go. And if you look real close, you can see right here, these are not in line with this one, right? So like these aren't exactly the same anymore. So if I have one of my signatures that's facing the wrong way, and then my other signatures are facing the other way, especially if it's one like in the middle, it ends up looking really weird. So that's why I always try to create a process so that I know exactly what it is I'm doing and how I'm doing it to make sure that everything stays lined up. Now, if you go through and finish and you go to look at these and you're like, oh, wait, this one looks weird, then, you know, flip it over and see if it fixes itself. Okay. So you're going to poke holes in every single one of these all the way up and down all the different sides. And like I said, create yourself a pattern that you're using. So for me, one more time, you pull it forward towards yourself. I'm going to open it where the bottom piece comes towards me. I'm going to poke my holes. I'm going to take this side and fold it under and then flip the whole thing over. So continue doing that till you get all the way through with all of your signatures, and I'll see you in the next video. Thanks, everybody.